Hello everyone and welcome to Tech Modding. As you can see, this is not Project Silverend. The goal for this week's video was to show you the making of the front custom panel for Silverend, but I realized that I needed a bit more content for that video, so that's coming out next week together with the making of the side custom windows. So for this week I'm taking the chance to show you guys this case, which will be the base of the new project Metatron that I'm going to introduce to you guys now. And like we did for the first episode of Silverend, we're going to be tearing down this case and see how it's made and how it's mounted together, so we can see what we can keep of the original structure and what to remove. First of all, you're seeing here a power drill, and this means we'll have to pop out some rivets in this case. So I think it's going to be a bit less straightforward as a process compared to the Jones Bow Mod 5 of Project Silverend. But as a quick introduction to Project Metatron, specifically for my source of inspiration, I'm using the Metatron from the Shin Megami Tensei and Persona video game series, which uses silver, gold and white colors. So that's going to be the color scheme for this project. And aside from that, I'm also using the Metatron's cube, which is a symbol of the sacred geometry. And sacred geometry in general is one of my main sources of inspiration when coming up with new designs, because the combined use of simple shapes can bring out a very unique and clean design, as opposed to Project Silverend, which is more of a sci-fi and cyberpunk build, so with a lot of details and a lot of parts. This is going to be a more minimal look, more similar to what you saw on Honda, for example. And I don't have any 3D model yet, but I can assure you guys the idea I have in mind is very interesting. So the introduction is done, and let's dive into this case, which by the way is the Azza Cube Mini 805. So as always, we start from the glass panels, which are 3 here too. I already took a look at the structure for this case, and it's pretty interesting. 2 gone, and for the front one, front has 2 screws and then magnets on the other side. It does feature a 140mm fan on the front and one 80mm fan on the back, because yeah, it's a mini ITX case. Pretty limited on the length for the graphics card. I think it supports up to 20 centimeters, which is very short. So let's remove the internal front panel first. This is held together by screws, as far as I can see. Also, let me know what you guys think about this case teardown videos, because when I first started doing modding projects, I used to look for teardown videos of specific cases, because I wanted to see how they were built before actually buying them and make the project. And I never could find this kind of detailed teardown videos, so that's why I'm now making them, so maybe other people that have the same issue can find some content. Obviously I'm not making teardowns of a lot of cases, but like the more peculiar ones, like this one, is not the usual shape, and same goes for the Jones Bow Mod 5, so I think it's interesting. We also have a couple thumb screws inside to hold it. It has a really weird and unique construction. Here comes the internal front panel, and you can see here it's all held together by these kind of L profiles, which some are screwed to the case and some are riveted. You already can kind of see how this case is mounted together. It's basically 2 metal plates, 2 aluminum plates bent in a C shape, which then goes to form the cube loop. Well, let's remove the base, because this one is going to be replaced with a custom one. And also the angle at which the case sits will be revisited, because I'm going to angle it with the corner at the very bottom, so not in this tilted fashion, but more vertical. So what I'm looking to do with this case is actually removing the rear panel, first of all. And the rear panel is the same as this side, because it's one panel bent at a 90-degree angle. And here you can see there's the first rivets, but actually I don't think I need to remove them, because the rivets fix this panel to one of the L profiles. And then the L profiles are actually mounted to the case with screws, so I think I don't need to touch the rivets. Let's also remove this front piece, because this is going to be replaced as well, this with the front in out. So yeah, it's all L profiles and thumb screws. And the thumb screws are very tight, so you will need a screwdriver to loosen them up. Nope, found out where I need some rivets removed, and that is the motherboard tray, because the motherboard tray is actually riveted to the back panel, and the back panel is going. So the motherboard tray, I think I can keep it, or maybe I can just do a custom one. But yeah, let's remove it anyway, so it's easier to move inside. Now you can see the L profiles and thumb screws a little bit better. Should be everything. Now I should be able to pop this panel out. And it's not that easy, because there are these inserts on the panel we are trying to keep, which go through the L profiles, and they keep everything together even without the screws. So I think I will have to rivet out the L profiles. Okay, so now this came off. Again, simple L profiles. See? Now if I just pop it open, it should come off. Yep, here it is. So here is the C shape I was talking to you about earlier, and this is the L shape that completes the cube structure. Let's also remove these last L profiles, even though we might need them, not for now at least. So yeah, I think this is what we're going to start the project with as for the original parts, because my idea is to have a very open design. Also because I had to fit at least two 120mm radiators or one 240, as well as a longer graphics card than it's supported in the original case, which is not very long. I think the one I have is like 22 centimeters, so it's a low profile, it's a kind of low profile one, but it's still too long for the original configuration. And also the original case only supports a 140mm on the front and then 80 on the back, so it's not enough. Even if I'm not going to water cool the graphics, because it's just an RTX 2060 and doesn't have a compatible water block, I still want to have at least two 120 or one 240 for the CPU. Also the angle will probably be sort of like this, so with the corner at the lowest point, and like I did with my Oracle project. And as for the base, I want to make something very floaty, as with Honda again. I want to have a base made out of 8mm aluminum and 8mm brass, because the brass is going to be simulating the gold color I mentioned earlier. Then there's going to be something like 3 rods coming up and connecting to the case in an asymmetrical way, so that it actually looks like it's floating on one side and it's connected on the other. So that should create a pretty neat and unique design. And to kind of close this part, which is now open, I will probably make a 10mm acrylic panel, which is going to be clear, and I'm going to connect brass details to this panel so that they look like they're floating as well, something like little strips of brass coming this way. And as for the internals, I don't really know yet, because again I have to see how I can fit the water cooling, especially because it's very unsupported on this case because of the dimensions. But it's going to have an SFX PSU, so I do save some room with that, because natively this case supports up to ATX power supplies, but there's not even enough room for water cooling, so I figured it was better to just go with an SFX power supply in this occasion. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I'm still not sure when the second part is going to come out, because I would like to finish Silverhand first, but if an episode of Silverhand gets delayed for any reasons, I will eventually come out with the second part for this one, and we're going to take a look at the making of the base, because it's the one part that really gets the start to the project and the design overall. So let me know what you guys think about this particular case. Again, it's the Azza Cube Mini 805, and clearly there's not much left of the case, but it would be more than enough. There's even the logo still. And if you're looking forward to see more on this project as well as all the others, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, as well as follow us on our social media pages: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, builds.gg, Discord, and also take the chance to have a look at our merchandising shop. You'll find all links in the description. So thank you guys for watching, and see you next week.